What's up, YouTube? Classic Dura coming at you with a YCS 2019 Atlanta deck profile with...
Clinton from StarCrossed Souls. So, man, do we have a long day.
Oh my god, 7 rounds? 7 rounds.
Yeah, 7 rounds of Swiss. We did pretty well, I feel like, for not having that much experience with like top table competitive play like this. Didn't do as well as we thought we would. We essentially picked up a random third player when our primary player dropped. And his deck profile is going to be on my channel as well if you guys want to check that out. He was a great sport. He's just a teenager, 15 years old, and playing Salamangreats, and he actually put in a lot of work for us. So
yeah, he did pretty well. But today, or for this video, we're doing your deck. And what did you play today?
So I took one of Michelle's decks, actually, Lunalights, and we combined it with some competitive design sensibilities, a la the Danger engine. And went for, I don't want to say a similar build to what was played at YCS Chicago, because there is quite a few differences that I'll point out. But essentially, that's the deck. The reason why I went with this was because I had a couple of other competitive decks that were still rogue to counter the meta that I wanted to go with. But this one I decided to go with because I understood how it played better than those other decks. And it was a deck that could go first or second really, really well. And I was super happy with the results. So most people say that this is a going second deck. I opted to go first every single time.
Because of Aztop.
Yeah, and it paid off every single time. So let's go ahead and get into the list.
All right, let's get to it.
So,
also with this very nice...
Yeah, the 20th anniversary Utopia playmat. I actually did not play with the YCS mess, the Sacred Beast ones. I got the Haman one, but I didn't play with it because it didn't have the zones, which that was kind of lazy on their part. Like, why not put the...
They've actually been doing that with a lot of the YCS ones, mostly because so that people can keep reusing them if Master Rule changes again.
That's true. Yeah, but I needed the zones, so that's why I went with the 20th anniversary one here.
All right, well, let's get to it.
The box opening for this 20th anniversary box is also on my channel if you guys want to check that out. Awesome,
we'll
awesome
leave
product.
a link in the description below or somewhere in the video.
Okay, so main deck is 25 monsters, so 3 Kaleidowchick. That is staple. It's the best Lunalight card in the deck, and if your opponent ashes this, you still get the effect because you send the Graver for cost. So this effect will 9 out of 10 times that this effect activates. It'll be under negation, but because you send the monster from deck to grave to pay costs, you still get the benefit that you want out of it. The actual effect to change its name is irrelevant, and it has another effect which a lot of people overlook, where when it's banished, monster effects or any effect that activates during the battle phase, like your opponent can activate card effects during the battle phase.
Oh yeah, that's
which
important.
Is amazing. So I had a Prank Kids player. And you know how Prank Kids float like crazy, and it's hard to beat over them.
Yeah, and that just stops it all.
I OTK'd him. Like it was so stupidly good card. And so we play 3 Chick and 3 Tiger. So you need to see both of these cards in your opening hand. Like you have to get to both these cards. So pretty much the rest of the deck is facilitating getting to both of these cards. And so that's kind of where the Danger engine comes in, which we'll talk about. But if you don't have both of these, you're going to run into trouble. And that's actually where I had the most difficulty with this deck, is the deck is what I've learned is very susceptible to interruptions.
As most rogue decks are.
Yeah, and so a lot of the hand traps were, if they prevented me from being able to resolve like this combo, then I wasn't able to do anything. But Tiger, you activate in scale, special summons a Lunalight from the graveyard, which allows you to recur this effect like 3 times at least in your turn. So 3 of those. And then this is actually an odd choice, 3 Wolf. So a lot of people, including the guy that topped YCS Chicago, were cutting this down to 1. I want to see this guy as much as possible purely because of the interruptions and the type of responses people can make. Or this fine lady, actually it's not a guy. But yeah, you can't search off of Tanky either. You can search off of Perfume, or you can search off of Perfume. So it's not as easy to get to your hand as the other ones are. That's why I wanted to run more than 1. 2 Yellow Martin. This card is, I wouldn't want to run it at more than 1 because I did open it once or twice this event. But it's essentially a Zephyros on crack. So it is a it bounces cards back to your hand that are not hard once per turn that you can continue to use over and over again. So it has a really, really degenerate interaction with Tiger and Kaleidochick, to where it's always the first card you send to grave from your deck with Kaleidochick, and then you bounce the Tiger back to your hand to sort of summon it back, and you activate the Tiger again and get Kaleidochick back. So that's how I usually make my first rank 4, and I already do that with a Rusty on board. So that's kind of how the Azathoth combo works. But one thing that's important to note about this card is that Revival Effect is a hard once per turn. Read the card carefully. It also has the effect of when it's sent to graveyard, you can search out a Lunalight spell or trap. You can only search out the trap or Lunalight Fusion. You cannot search Lunalight Perfume because it's not a, quote, Lunalight one-word name.
It has a space in between.
It's Luna Space Light. It's not the same thing. So
can you imagine if that was searchable?
I had a guy at Dabbers when we talked about that ruling who was doing it. It's busted because then you have another revival where you don't have to, like, you resolve Kaleidochick another time per turn. 2 Emerald Bird, this card actually put in a lot of work as well, because when this one is sent to grave by card effect, you get to start summon from grave, so that was good to be able to recur this one more time per turn without using its inherent effect and getting it banished. You also always want to, if you link away, you always want to link away with Kaleidochick and not this one, because you want this to be sent to grave as being detached from Exterior material, because you don't want it to get banished off its effect. It basically has a Dark World Dealings effect on summon, but we don't really use that too much. It did come in handy to unbrick my hand one time, but there was a hand when I opened this, Zephyros and all dangers, and this and the Zephyros never got hit. All the dangers got hit off of their effects. It was stupid. It was kind of salty. One black sheep because that is searchable off of Tenki, and if you sent Wolf to graveyard off of Kaleidochick, you'd pitch this and you add Wolf to your hand. And that
it's a black sheep. There's only one in the family.
There you go. So that's it for the Lunalight cards. Then we have 2 1-0s. We have Zephyros and Boots. So Boots, of course, is critical in the Azathoth combo, and Zephyros is one more bounce.
Wasn't Zephyros your tech? I can't remember.
Kind of. Kinda. I see him in a lot of other builds, but you don't want to open this guy. You want to discard him for the search. If you open him, you want to discard him for the search effect of Perfume engraved to when it banishes itself. Or if you open Foolish, regular Foolish, you just want to get this guy in the graveyard as soon as possible, because that's the only way to get him in the graveyard, as opposed to like the other Lunalight cards where they can just send it off of Kaleidochick. So that's it for the other monsters. Now we have the Dangers, which is 3 fat pink Sneck.
3 Sneck.
3 long Sneck. And 2 Fluffy Rabbit and 1 fish thing.
Thank you, Evan, for lending us these cards.
Yeah, this one I pulled. So this one is mine, but yeah, huge shout outs to Evan for letting me borrow this whole engine. So these put in a huge amount of work. These cards are unfair. They're 100% unfair. Like, there's no reason these cards should be in the game, but while they're in the game, I'm going to use them as much as I can. Correction of error, though. So I played these because this one I liked the I like the level, I like the effect, but like the other ones we play because they're just the best effects. But in hindsight, I would have rather played Chupacabra and Moth because they were level 4.
Why didn't you play Moth? I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, I was expecting you to pull out Moth for this.
Because I kind of liked their effects better, but in hindsight, that's 100% correct. I should have played Mothman because it's level 4, and I can't make anything except for links with these. Luckily, they're all dark, which is amazing. But I couldn't do anything with these on board. They were just there to unbreak my hand, which they did an amazing job of, first of all. But I couldn't make rank 4 with them, which was kind of what I really needed them for. So, but they're stupidly good at unbricking my hand. I was legitimately impressed with how well they were able to do that.
That's because, why they're the money cards.
Yeah, I mean, I opened, like I said, how you have to open Tiger and Kaleidochick.
Yeah.
I didn't open either one of them. I had like Zephyros and like some other, and like Fogblade in my hand, and all dangers. And so I'm just saying those off to the side because, and I was able to unbrick my hand because of the dangers. It was amazing. That's all the monsters. Like I said, it's 25 monsters. For the spells, we have 3 Perfume.
Of course.
It's a busted card because it's a archetypal monster reborn. It can't be searched, but it is not a hard once per turn, and the banish effect again helps you unbreak your hand by discarding, and it's a Rhoda at that point, so it's stupidly good. So we want to get to this as basically every other card in the deck is getting you to these two. Every card is trying to get you to these two. So that's why we play 3 of these and 3 goods. I was actually originally playing 2 in Michelle's variant, but when we kind of made some tweaks for the YCS, I bumped it up to 3 because I want to open a way to get to those 2 cards as fast as possible. So that's why we run 3, 3, and 3. So you either open them or you open a way to get to them, and that's what lets you play. But unfortunately, that does leave it open to some disruption. So if you open Perfume, it's better because you get both of its effects. But if you open Goods, you only get the search effect, and you technically go 1-for-1 on that because you have to discard another card to get the search off of it. And then Tenki is really good. There's another interaction with Tenki that's pretty degenerate, involving a certain rank 4 Exceed monster that we love. So then the 1-0s, 1 Foolish, 1 Monster Reborn, staples of course. Again, another revival card is super important, and then Foolish is there for Yellow Martin or Zephyros, mainly Zephyros, because he can't be sent there's no good way to send him otherwise. We also have, of course, the 1 Rank Up Magic Launch for the Azathoth combo, and then the 1 Lunalight Fusion. I sided this out every game too. I never went into it. It is pretty cool. It's basically like a Shaddoll Fusion. If your opponent has a extra deck monster on board, then you can summon Leo Dancer another way, and because I actually have more than 1 Leo Dancer in the extra deck, that does come up, but I actually sided it out in every game too and never really used it.
Okay, yeah.
I'd still play it though. And then actually, we have 3 traps.
3 traps?
So I have the 1...
3 of them things? 3 of them things.
3 of them things. I don't know what that's a reference to, but I'll have to... So the 1 Shade Brigadier, obviously, that I ended up having, with just the 2-card combo I mentioned, I had to actually use this. Because obviously you use the boots. I used Rusty to send boots to set the Rank of Magic from the deck, and then you use boots. You banish boots to search this, so that gives you another level 4 on board. And you still have Yellow Martin on board, so you overlay them into Time Thiever Doer.
I've actually seen that combo being played off. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of what usually enabled me to make Azathoth. Lunalight Serenade Dance. So this card is the real MVP. Like, this card put in so much work. I did not expect this to be good at all because I'd never really used the battle effect at all.
That looks like an essay. What does it do?
So like it basically has like a effect that synergizes with the fusions where you summon like a 2000 attack token on your opponent's board that you beat over, and that synergizes with like a lot of the other Lunalight fusions, not necessarily Leo Dancer. So it's pretty cool for that. So in that sense, it's kind of just like a win more card. But the other effect is you can, and I misplayed on this super hard against the Cosmo player, where I banished this to, because you could banish this to special summon a Lunalight from your deck, which is insanely good, but you also have to discard just like you do for Perfume. So I did that, and the only card I had in my hand was the Tiger that I just searched. So I had to discard that, and I was like, that was an awful, awful misplay. I needed the Tiger in my hand. And then the one, this is a tech of mine, was 1 Fogblade. This is actually my 41st card in the deck. It's 41 cards. But this was a really good decision for this event because this, having just a searchable like, archetypal Fiendish Chain is stupidly good, especially when your opponent, especially if they have a deck that's heavily normal summon reliant and they just play their 1 monster and you're like, okay, your turn is basically over now. It didn't really do anything against Salamangreats because they just linked that monster off immediately. So I had to pick. I was like, what's the correct monster to Fogblade? And there really isn't a good pick for that.
It depends, but usually the reincarnated Sunlight Wolf would be your best bet.
Yeah, I could do that, and he linked it off again to something else, so it didn't really work out. But yeah, absolutely, that was a perfect, that was a good card to have in there. So on to the extra. Shoutouts to Best Girl here as well. I didn't play her too much because it was a little bit lewd, so I played the Red Nova Dragon. It was like, we'll just cover up that. So extra deck is pretty much perfect. I wouldn't really change anything in here. So for the Link monsters, we have Firefighting Dermadol. Not only is he a generic Beast Warrior Link monster support, but you can also make him with Wing Beast and Beast. So I can make him with Danger Jackalope, which is amazing, but you can also make him with Zephyros, and he has the Scrap Dragon effect. which is awesome for clearing out your opponent's back row, and he can pop Tiger in when it's in scales, which gives you another special summon.
So if you can bring out the token on a opponent Sky Striker player's like field, you basically stop their spell cards, and then you can combo off and pop the back row and then OTK them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I didn't play any Sky Strikers, but that
you
that would have come up. Yeah, you played 2 Sky Strikers at least. Wee Witch, a lot of people don't play her, but she's the first. She's usually what I always make going first before making Azathoth. She's the first stepping stone, and then everything is dark. Like Leo Dancer is a dark, so it gives it a boost to that if that ever came up. But it's usually just a stepping stone into Rusty. Underclock Taker, super important. So the turn 1 combo is to make Azathoth and Dweller under Rusty, and so if I'm going to OTK my opponent next turn,
Taker's
then
pretty good.
I need to clear a zone. So I'll usually send Dweller to grave, and then Underclock Taker will point to this zone, and I'll summon Leo Dancer in that zone and just OTK them. Summon Sorceress, that it actually did put in some work. Where,
ban list fodder.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's not. I think they can probably leave her alone for a little bit. I mean, we'll see what happens.
We'll see if we follow suit.
Yeah.
The OCG got her banned, I believe.
No, I don't think so.
No, she's banned.
Oh, is she really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I guess cool. So she actually came in handy a lot because, again, like I said with Kaleido Check, the effect is negated, but it doesn't even matter. You can still send for cost. So like I had my opponent interrupted my. Like, they banished the card I sent to the graveyard off of Kaleido Chick, and ended up bringing another Kaleido Chick out off of this one, and just did it again. It was really good. And then the final Link monster, of course, is Rusty. Broken card. I don't know that he's really the broken card, or if Azathoth is, but something's got to be hit as far as this goes. I wouldn't be upset if they just hit Azathoth, because I really like the Phantom Knight engine itself. The archetype is just cool as hell, and this is like artwork straight out of Dark Souls, like
right.
It really is. So just
and as a Dark Souls fan, I approve. So
yeah. And then rank 4s, we have Dweller, Force Strix, Tornado Dragon, Tiger King. I wouldn't change this, so I actually made a little bit of a miscalculation with Force Strix and thought you could search Diddy Crow. You can't, because it specifically says level 4. It doesn't say level 4 or lower. And the other Ray Raptor that combos with this I actually took out of the deck, so I might have changed this into like an Exciton Knight or something.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because I could have. There's a couple times where I guess I could have used Exciton Knight, but this is essentially a searcher for Zephyros.
Exciton Knight is basically a free, evenly matched in a way.
It can be, yeah. It's just easier to interrupt than evenly matches. Tornado Dragon, I never made it. A Dweller is amazing. Again, my perfect going first board is making this an Azathoth, and your opponent can't do anything. Like,
especially like in the current meta where there's a lot of graveyard effects, yeah.
Yeah, and then Tiger King is also a blowout. So Tiger King is going second is usually what allows you to make Leo Dancer, because he sets the tanky from the deck, shuts down all your opponent's monster effects, and you just beat over them, and it's ridiculous. So Tiger King is the real MVP going second. And then we have, of course, the Time Thief Doer, which enables Azathoth. Stupidly good card. I was really salty at the Salamangreat player that dropped Pankratops and popped him before I was able to rank him up, because obviously we have to wait for priority turn player. But yeah, Azathoth is just an unbelievably unfair card and probably should not be in the game. Look at his Magic the Gathering looking ass artwork that
Lovecraftian.
Looks like something out of Lovecraftian lore. The whole like.
Well, that's what the reference is from.
Old entity, outer entity. Yeah, it's all like Cthulhuid mythos. And then actually, I run with the fusions. Actually, run 2 of each. The reason being is that Leo Dancer is your win condition. I need to be able to make it more than once. So the Lunalight Fusion spell, I really need that second Panther Dancer in the extra deck. There were times where I wish I had Saber Dancer again, but it didn't really come up. But yeah, Leo Dancer is absolutely your win condition, so I needed more than one, and it did come up occasionally.
You can fusion one of them by having it in the graveyard, correct?
Yeah, because it's one Lunal. Yeah, you can.
Have you contemplated doing Extra Foolish Burial? Where it sends one card from the extra deck into the grave to get that.
I haven't really contemplated that, because that's a card that doesn't really do anything except for that, and it costs too much. Whereas like Cloud Chick just does that anyway.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
Cloud Chick can send from main or extra. So I usually send. I usually resolve Cloud Chick 3 times at least, and one of them is to send Panther Dancer. And even if I'm doing, I'll even doing that during my going first play, so that even if my opponent cuts me off from some of my resources on their opening play, I can still go into Panther Dancer in my following turn. So. Yeah, I wouldn't change anything about that extra deck except for maybe take out the Force Tricks because it didn't really do anything. Side deck really quick. So 2 DD Crow, 2 Pankratops. I made a little mistake with that. I'll explain. 2 Twin Twister, 3 Book of Eclipse for the Thunder Dragon matchup.
Interesting.
Never
Came
played it.
up.
3 evenly matched. And 2 Red Reboot. Never played any back row decks except for like Salamangreat. So what I should have done is I never sided in all 3 evenly matched. I should have had 2 evenly matched and 2 Kaiju. That was a mistake.
Interesting. Okay.
But this evenly match is just such a blowout. I love this card so much, but I never really got to resolve it too much. But I usually sided in the so I sided in the Book of Eclipse against the Cosmo player, and it came up a little bit. Pankratops was good. DD Crow was good. Yeah, I wouldn't change a whole lot about this.
Why specifically this Kaiju?
It's the next weakest one next to Gameciel.
Oh, and you
so
have a
it
Gameciel?
should have. What I should have done is taken one of these out and put a Gameciel in this.
Gotcha.
That's what I should have done, but just that was the mistake on my part. But I wouldn't change. I would. Other than that, I wouldn't really change the side. I just didn't get a chance to really put. Like, I didn't really get a chance for these cards to put in much work. But here's the thing is, like, if I lost game 1, I would always opt to go first. So I'd rarely ever side in, like, the Pankratops. Because I'm like, I don't want to side out any of the Azathoth combo stuff because I don't want to go second.
That would be a game 3 thing where you would go second.
Yeah, if I knew I was going second, then I would. But if I'm going... I usually would lose every game 1. And then, or like if I lost the die roll, I would lose every game 1, especially against Salamangreat, and then go into game 2 and make Azathoth and then OTK them. So,
all right. Well, you got any last words? Any comments? Shout outs? Anything?
huge shout out to my beautiful fiance Michelle for being amazing and loving Lunalights as much as I do. And really enabling the level of excitement that I needed to feel like piloting this deck at a big event like this. Like as I'm saying that, I'm realizing the implication there of like, wow, this was like a casual deck for us, and I took it to the biggest event that I've really ever played in. So like that's no short compliment there. Again, shout out to the guy that let us borrow the Danger stuff.
Yeah, this event was big, like 1,600 players. YCSs are growing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Team APS who played beside us twice.
Oh, did they twice?
Yeah, they did.
I only saw them one time.
Yeah, they were a riot. And then of course shout out to Classic Dura for recording this video for me. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and subscribe to StarCrossed Souls as well. Our team was actually Team Cross Souls in the tournament, so I loved that. Yeah, make sure to give us a like and a subscribe and check out other videos. And
I will post it in the description, as I said.
I'm definitely going to do some casual duels and some uploads with Michelle playing this deck as well very soon. So
maybe I can borrow that Danger engine one more time and you and me can play against each other as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Alrighty, well, thank you all for watching. Like, favorite, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment below saying why you didn't, and I'll see you all next time.